over. So
it's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
good morning and welcome to the Travel and Cruise Industry News Podcast for this Wednesday, the third day of July. Those of you that were here right as the show started, I screwed up the audio again. And this one was totally my fault. When I set up the thing, I never turned my microphone on. So I've got a big donut to cut out of the first of the show before I process it. I'm getting used to doing that. Anyway, welcome to the show from a very seasonably hot again, Central Virginia area, Bedford County, right outside of Lynchburg. It's going to be in the 90s again today. This looks like it's going to be the first day of about 8 in a row of 90 and higher. So hopefully when I go out this afternoon and stick my toe in the pool, it will have warmed up a little. 55 night before last, 60 last night. That's enough to cut the heat right out of a swimming pool. So anyway, we'll see how that goes. Again, my apologies for the audio issue, but I think now everything's ready to go. All right, of course, the main story this morning, folks, is the hurricane again. A Wednesday tropical weather update. Also today, Wildfires Force shutdown in Alaska. We have a Drydock schedule for 2 AIDA ships, a Unique Christening for the Seabourn Pursuit, and Disney adjusts embarkation times. That and lots more live here at 11 o'clock this morning. Today, folks, is National Fried Clams Day. Any of you guys that have been with me on cruise ships know how much I like clams. I generally find clams whenever it's possible. So, good day. I will go out and get some fried clams someplace today. Guarantee it. If you're listening via the podcast, you can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Just search for Travel and Cruise Industry News, and voila, up pops the Fat Travel Guy. And by the way, if you are listening via a podcast and want to jump over to the video feed to see interviews or clips or pictures, there's always a link in the description of your podcast so you can do just that. So, all right, so we might as well get on with the news portion of the show and start off, of course, with the weather. Okay, so Hurricane Beryl, probably as we speak, is getting terribly close to Jamaica. The core of dangerous Hurricane Beryl expected to impact Jamaica midday, so it was still a little bit short the last I checked. It's going to bring life-threatening winds and storm surge, expected to approach the Cayman Islands tomorrow, and then Friday onto the Yucatan Peninsula. The last readings that came in was a couple hours ago. We were talking about being somewhere around 85 miles southeast of Kingston, which put us about 400 miles east-southeast of Grand Cayman. Maximum sustained winds were 145 miles an hour, so it's still a Category 4. The present movement was west-northwest at 20 miles an hour, and the pressure is still at 946 and has not come up any. So there's a little bit of a dichotomy. We had some weakening due to some storm surge. There could be some more storm surge today which may weaken it a little bit more, but yet the pressure is still staying down. So that doesn't necessarily match. The center of Beryl will move rapidly across the central Caribbean Sea and is forecast to pass near or over Jamaica today. The last map, folks, looks like it might pass just a tick south of Jamaica. The center is expected to pass near or over the Cayman Islands tonight or early Thursday, move over the Yucatan Peninsula early Friday. Now, here's the problem, guys, on the situation as it is. If it goes just south of Jamaica, you think, oh, that's good. Yeah, not necessarily, because it's going to be close enough, even though the eye wall itself may not be over. But the worst of that storm, which is on the east and northern portion of the circulation, is going to be, hitting Jamaica full force all the way across the whole island. It's going to bring a tremendous amount of rain, tremendous amount of storm surge, tremendous amount of wind. It could be more damaging than if, in fact, the eye itself went across the island. It's a little bit unusual for this kind of the dirty side of this storm being on the backside. Yesterday, as it passed way south of Dominican Republic, as it got past the Dominican Republic, they recorded some 22-foot waves at Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic after the storm had passed by. It didn't even touch the Dominican Republic. It was, 150 miles south of the Dominican Republic. So that's one thing. The storm surge is expected to be 9 feet on Jamaica. Those of you that have been to Jamaica, a 9-foot storm surge is pretty substantial. It's still very questionable where this thing's going to go. Yes, it's going to do the same thing tomorrow to Grand Cayman. Could miss Grand Cayman just slightly, as it could slightly miss Jamaica. We're not going to know for probably another hour on the exact route as far as Jamaica was concerned. So that's probably going to come out in the first update this afternoon. Then it's still very questionable where it's going to go on the Yucatan Peninsula. It's going to be up near Cancun or further south. Still possibly, if it ticks to the south, could go ashore in Belize. We just don't know. Then the even bigger question is, it goes over the Yucatan. Now let's assume that the wind shear cuts it down to a 3 or possibly a 2 by the time it gets to the Yucatan Peninsula, and then going over the Yucatan Peninsula, over the land, could possibly cut it down even more. So let's say by the time it gets to the Bay of Campeche, it's down to a 1 or even a tropical storm. But then it's going to get into bathwater. The warmer temperatures in the Bay of Campeche could very well strengthen it again. It could also, depending again on the exact path, could get ticked to the north. And that's going to bring into play the Gulf Coast of Texas, as far up as possibly even New Orleans. So we just don't know at this point. And I'm saying we, I don't know. Matter of fact, I talked to Jim Cantori earlier today. They don't know either. So we're going to have to see. So that's still a big if. All right. So The other system is a little bit further behind, that's now approaching the Windward Islands, following in much the same path. It's east of the Windwards this morning. Shower and thunderstorm activity remained disorganized in association with a tropical wave. This is Invest 96L, by the way, if you want a physical determination at the current time. It's located a few hundred miles east of the Windwards. Development, if any, of the system should be slow to occur as it moves westward at 20 to 25 miles an hour across the western tropical Atlantic and Caribbean Sea. Regardless of the development, gusty winds and locally heavy rainfall are possible across portions of the Lesser Antilles that just had to deal with Beryl just a couple days ago. Formation, however, folks, over the next 48 hours is very low, 10%, and over the next 7 days, it's been dropped to 20%. So this has got a good chance of not becoming much of anything as it passes by. Then, of course, as it gets to the Yucatan, I did hear from Elizabeth this morning, who I don't think is going to be with us today. She has a Zoom call, business Zoom call this morning. But in Playa del Carmen, they are starting to board things up to prepare for Friday. Obviously, they're going to start getting some winds and possible storm surge before the storm. So they could start getting some nastiness tomorrow evening or early Friday. So a lot of unknowns out there still, folks, on Hurricane Beryl. I'm sorry to say. All right, I'll be back with a couple more news stories after a quick break from one of our network sponsors.
See this here? It'll be a couple of lines and it'll stay there.
A wildfires led to the near complete shutdown of Denali National Park and Preserve, severely impacting operations for cruise-operated hotels during the height of the cruise season. The Riley fire, first reported by chilliescruises early on June the 30th, has caused significant disruptions as it burns rapidly through the area, and the Park Service has closed its front country access until further notice. The Riley fire, burning through the park's dense and highly flammable black spruce, is estimated at 350 to 400 acres and is situated directly across from the Nanana River from the Glitter Gulch area. The area catering to park visitors features several restaurants, gift shops, tour operators, and accommodations, including Holland America Line's McKinley Chalet Resort and Princess Cruises' Denali Princess Wilderness Lodge. A Holland America Line spokesman said the McKinley Chalet Resort is currently experiencing service disruptions due to the Riley fire, which has caused power outages across the region and the closure of the Denali National Park and Preserve entrance. There is no threat to the safety of our guests, team members, or the property itself, and we are working to keep guests as comfortable as possible, Holland America continued, as local authorities work to restore power into the area. We are notifying guests who are currently on cruise tours of their onward itinerary details. Meanwhile, Denali Princess Wilderness Lodge, located less than a half a mile from McKinley Chalet, has closed the resort to new arrivals. Princess Cruises has also closed its Mount McKinley Princess Wilderness Lodge within the park, and its Fairbanks Princess Riverside Lodge, located in Fairbanks, another gateway to Denali. Due to the impact of the Riley wildfire in the Denali National Park area, we have closed Denali, Mount McKinley, and Fairbanks to new arrival, the cruise line posted. All hotel-only and land-only bookings through July the 5th at these three properties will be canceled. Evacuation orders were issued to roughly 150 Denali National Park and partner employees residing in nearby housing and visitors staying at the Rowley Creek campground. McKinley Resort, located a mile from the entrance to Denali, is part of Holland America's Alaska Cruise Tour, which combines cruise experiences with land-based adventures. The resort offers guests various amenities, including dining options, a theater, and access to outdoor activities such as hiking and rafting. Princess Cruises lodges are also a crucial component of its Alaska Land and Sea cruise tours. They feature multiple dining venues, theaters, and convenient access to Denali National Park, where guests can partake in guided tours and wildlife viewing. Both cruise operators often provide access to Denali from ports in Seward and Anchorage. Currently, Princess Cruises Grand Princess, Sapphire Princess, and Ruby Princess are each in Alaska, along with Holland America's MS Zandam, which provides 14-day Yukon and Denali tours. Each ship may have passengers affected by the fire. Join us on the Norwegian Gem from Quebec City to Boston, sailing September the 13th. 7-night cruise starting at $892 per person. We sail from Quebec City down the St. Lawrence Seaway to Charlottetown, Sydney, Halifax, Portland, Bar Harbor, and into Boston. Join us for a great cruise. Call me 434-258-9264. AIDA Cruises, the Carnival Corporation brand that caters to the German market, confirmed the Drydock dates for 2 more Sphinx-class ships, which will undergo major refits as part of the line's AIDA Evolution program. AIDA Luna Drydock period is set for October 22nd, 2025 to December 10th, 2025, while AIDA Bella will enter the dry dock for her renovation from January 21st, 2026 to March 11, 2026. Seabourn's second expedition ship, Seabourn Pursuit, was christened Monday in true expedition style during an extraordinary ceremony on an island off Western Australia's Kimberley coast. Making the event even more unique, it was Wunamble Gambara traditional owners, the Aboriginal Australian people of the northern Kimberley region, who served as godparents of the luxury ship. The historic naming ceremony took place on Gula Jar Island as guests looked on from Zodiacs and the ship's crew watched from Seabourn Pursuit's decks. Aboriginal culture was at the forefront of the day's events, which included a welcome Wunamble Gambara smoking ceremony and the breaking across the ship's bow of a bottle made from sugar and coated with sand from the island. Disney Cruise Line has announced a change in the all-aboard time for Disney Magic and Disney Wish sailings departing from Port Canaveral and Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Beginning September 2nd, 2024, the new all-aboard time for embarkation day will be 3 p.m., an hour earlier than the previous 4 p.m. requirement. Guests booked on upcoming sailings have been urged to review their travel arrangements, particularly those with flights arriving the day of embarkation. Join author Ivan Cox and me on the cruise ship Dr. Cruise on the Norwegian Epic, sailing from Port Canaveral on November the 16th, 2024. This is going to be a highly entertaining cruise with stops in Puerto Plata, St. Thomas, Portola, and the British Virgin Islands, and Great Stirrup Cay. Join us in November. Cruise ship Dr. Cruise. Just call me 434-258-9264. And that's going to bring us to the end of today's news. Hopefully, I'm back on with audio. Let's go see who's fussing at me over in the chat room. All right. Uh-oh, there's right off the get-go. Is everything all right from Fazu Quadwa? Yeah, well, I discovered it. Eventually, I got the audio. Thank you for asking. Mike's with us. Good morning, Mike. There's Elizabeth. Says, I won't be with you. Have a Zoom call. All right, we'll check in with you tomorrow before evacuating. We are staying safe here. Very good. Sunny today, so pool time it is. Yeah, it's actually, it's cooler actually down there than it is here. So I compared her weather to mine a little bit ago. So Kenneth's with us up in Pennsylvania. Good morning, Kenneth. Gary Older Than Dirt's with us. No sound. There's Bob. Good morning, Bob. Now everybody's telling me it sounds okay. All right, I have to tell you, folks, this one was, I can't blame this on technical issues. This was my plain ass stupidity. This new microphone system that I have, yeah, you plug a receiver into the camera, which is my phone, okay? And you have to charge that up. It has a charging box, right? And as long as your box is charged up, you put stuff in it and it charges. Now, this is another microphone. I'm not going to turn it on because that'll definitely do an echo. But you just push the button and it goes on. And then it goes to the receiver and the phone, so it's broadcast over the same area that your broadcast goes. Now, here's what I did today. I was fairly busy this morning doing some other things after I finished writing the show and producing the show. So I jumped in to get ready for the show. I plugged the little thingy into the phone, the receiver. I never took the microphone out of the box. So I had no microphone when the show started. None. Zero. Let me see it now. There it is over there. See, I got the microphone on now so you can hear me. That was totally my stupidity. Okay, so everybody's saying I'm good. Thank you. Scott's with us. Good morning, Scott. How you doing? Hot Air says there's a bit of a small echo. Ooh, Roger says happy 4th to everybody. Gretchen here says good morning. I did have a couple messages last night. Am I doing a show tomorrow? Yes. I'm not taking the 4th of July off. Not with, what we got going on right now. I'd do it, if it was a Christmas morning or Easter or any other time that I would normally take a day off. But not with the hurricane, to see what damage it did to Jamaica. Hopefully by tomorrow morning we'll know. Of course, it's going to be banging the hell out of Grand Cayman tomorrow. All of us that sail in the Caribbean have been to Jamaica numerous times, Grand Cayman numerous times, and a number of places on the Yucatan Peninsula. So, I mean, this is almost like a hurricane hitting at home, for those of us that cruise a lot. Yeah, not to mention we've got Elizabeth on location down there, literally right in the heart of it. So, yeah, I wouldn't miss tomorrow for anything. Now, by the weekend, by Saturday and Sunday, we'll have to see what's going on. If the thing turns north toward the States, I may have to do shows this weekend too, or if anything else happens. But we'll just have to play that one by ear. But I'll definitely be here tomorrow. Party doesn't start until 1. We'll tune in. Oh, okay. Yeah, Gretchen's party's tomorrow at 1. Wish I was up there. I mean, I missed the last party I had because of my stupid wheel. But anyway, so I'm going to be right here. I'm not going anywhere tomorrow, but the pool. I will get out to the pool. Amanda has a barbecue to do for tomorrow, so we're going to do a little barbecue for the holiday. But yeah, I'll be doing the show just normal time tomorrow at 11 o'clock, and we'll see what happens. All right, guys, that's going to wrap me up for today. Thanks for being with me. Even though I screwed up the first part of the audio, folks, hit that thumbs up for me. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. That'll help this channel out a lot. I promise I don't screw up every day. Every other day, maybe. All right, guys. I'll see everybody back here, same time, same place tomorrow. As always, guys, stay safe, stay healthy, think about cruising, and hopefully one day soon we'll all get together on the high seas. Have a great 3rd of July, everybody. See you tomorrow.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry, so if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, chilly chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chilliescruises.